So, Sunday again. But before we start, I'd like to say just a very big thank you for the people that or subscribers that bought me coffee last week. Actually, coffee this time, so buy me a coffee. And I think one of you broke the record, so I'm gonna mention the name, but one of you actually bought 23 coffees. So you have a couple of episodes to go. Anyhow, so thank you for that. Anyhow, last week I mentioned linseed oil and beeswax if you want to start woodworking, which was my tip for, like, that's the only product you need, basically these two products. Another thing I want to mention, actually, since this actually happened this week, a needle gun. I would say if you want to just start doing woodworking, the two things you actually need to have or buy is a drop saw. Just one of those has a table and then a saw attached in the middle, and then they have a D handle, then you can set the angles how you want to cut the wood, right? And then I would say get yourself a needle gun. These things, you can use them for absolutely everything, and they're very cheap. But then you're gonna say, well, you need to buy because this is operated by air pressure, right? So you need a compressor to actually get it going. However, I would say like 9 out of 10 times you go to a DIY store of larger size, I would say, there's always going to be a deal. I don't know, it's always going to be a deal on compressors and needle guns. Just how it is. And if you shop around a bit, I'm sure you can get the compressor and a needle gun for under 100 euros. Same thing with a drop saw. You can probably get the two items for 150 euros, $150, somewhere down there, for like the low-end budget things. But that's all you need in the beginning when you start, actually, because you really don't need big machinery to start woodworking. I would say it's like the drop saw is the main thing to start getting your angles in and start measuring and cutting. And these needle guns are, or as I like to call them, the third hand, because these ones are used, I use them for absolutely everything. Just holding up a piece of wood, and then I just put it in place so I don't have to hold it, and then I can drill and screw afterwards. But however, this is what I use it for when I do construction type of things. But if you want to do like woodcrafting and woodworking, these are excellent because they're very cheap, and you get like an instant, how to say, it's easier to build just to have these as I said, the third hand, just to staple things together and see how it looks. And when everything is like assembled as a prototype, because these needle guns are, well, the needles, as I said, they are called needles for a reason, because they're just 2.8 millimeters usually across, and they're flat. They galvanized the nails usually. So and then you assemble your woodcraft just with one of these guns, and then when you have your whole thing assembled, you can just tear it down very easily, because one needle or one nail from these needle guns hold it in place, but it's not that hard to dismantle it, because there's no heads on these nails, which means you can kind of just tear it straight out. However, this one is a combined needle gun that can shoot needles and U-nails. I don't know the English word, but like a horseshoe shaped type of nails. However, also don't confuse this if you're gonna start doing like furniture, like in nicer furniture settings. You need to, how to explain this? This is, since this is for shooting horseshoe nails as well, the head here is a bit wider, which means it's gonna add more I don't know, holes in the wood when you're putting nails in. It just leaves a bigger imprint from the hammer head itself, so to speak. If you get this type of gun made for furniture, that point there is gonna be much wider, so it just basically strikes the head. But these guns are a bit more expensive, but they're also better calibrated and even pressured and all that stuff. But if you're just gonna start, this is just an all brand, big superstore, their own type of thing, and it works. However, that's why I brought it up. These take a lot of beating, at least mine do. I throw them around and I use them everywhere, and it's cost, as I said, they're relatively cheap. And now this gun has been working forever. However, now it's finally cracked in the housing. I'm not sure if I dropped it or if because this gun is rated for 8 bars, and now when I did the chestnut and the walnut, I cranked up the pressure a bit on the compressor just because it's so much hardwood, and I'm not sure if I surpassed the 8 bars what this one is rated for, because it's a lot of pressure in this housing every time you pull the trigger right. But anyhow, it cracked, so no more nailing with this nail gun. I just need to get a new one. But that would be my tip for this week, actually. If you're gonna start woodworking, just get yourself a drop saw and a needle gun, and then you can do a lot of things for a lot of years before you actually need to buy new or get more new machinery. Just my 2 cents. But yeah, so to recap a bit, like if you want to start woodworking, just the two oils, as I said, like linseed oil and wax, beeswax, and then two tools that you actually need is a drop saw and a needle gun. That would be my recommendation to start with. And then like sanders and planers and split saws and stuff like that, it's well, you don't really need it. It's just convenient to have like a split saw, for instance, if you want to make your own lumber width and different sizes, or need a specific size. But most of these big department stores always have the width and the type of lumber you need, so you can buy it straight from the store, right, instead of making it. And that's about it, I think. Yeah, and obviously, like, woodworking comes in very the aspects of woodworking comes all the way from making jewelry boxes to building houses, right? So you just need to find your niche where you find your comfort level. And now for me, going into this with the wood workshop, I think I'm mostly gonna focus on making custom rustic, like this type of furniture, just due to that I here in this area I have a lot of access to old chestnut and walnut and stuff like that has been laying out and aged itself for probably hundreds of years in some cases. So it kind of makes good pieces for this type of furniture. So that's kind of what I'm gonna do now to just get things going. But as you can see, I also need a space to be working in, and I'm kind of done with it. The shading is done, and I picked I needed white shading or white type of tarp just to let the light in. I could have gone, because here in the region we have these shade things, and they're usually green, brown, or black. Sorry, and sometimes they have white. And I was looking around, but they have all other colors in that. But usually they come in 4 meters wide. I couldn't find it, so I had to go with the 1 meter wide and just staple a couple next to each other. But it's just the first layer. This is just the shade layer. I'm gonna do differently when I'm putting up the proper roof to keep my way out of the rain, so to speak. But that's a bit later. I'm gonna take that from the cluster of walnut trees. No, chestnut trees that are in the corner there. But I'm gonna wait a bit before the summer to pass and to the leaves to fall a bit, because just create less work to fell the trees when the leaves are on off, and yeah, just make for quicker work. But let's see a bit later. So yeah, to recap, start woodworking basically. I think that's all I have to say this week. Going in, I have some small projects that I'm probably gonna take care of this week, but let's see how the week goes, because this week as well has been insanely hot, and it's not even 10 o'clock yet, and it's the sun is beating down already. It's gonna be another stinker today, I think. But it's supposedly a couple of days more of this super heat, and then it might go down again, but let's see. I'm not holding my breath on this one. Just have to let August to pass first, and then September comes and usually everything cools down a bit. Because now it's kind of impossible to work. You have to be up super early, and as I said, it's 10 o'clock and it's already probably 25-ish, not more. And that's it. And yeah, I really don't have any to show this week on the, well, I'll take you around afterward. So yeah, for me, for the coffee people, that's gonna be it for me this week, and hope to see you next week. And yeah, take care. Ciao. So if you're still with me, I'm just shooting the overview of what happened this week. So shade tarp, bit of the sides, and yeah, that's it. So yeah, once again, see you next week. Ciao, ciao, bye.